Guys, I'm being tested. I have not since high school have I felt. No, that's not a good comparison. Yeah, I've had this commitment for a bit now to try to keep myself as a part and away from the political weirdness in this country leading up to this November election as possible, and have largely succeeded in my various personal goals to try to avoid it, to not get any of it on me, as it were. Difficult to do when you're in a job that's sort of public facing, and you got to keep up with what's going on and that sort of thing. And part of what helped, I think, in May was quitting Twitter entirely, because that place was just, it didn't matter. Followers, even if I was just looking at my following feed, it didn't matter. It was just like nonstop. I just had it. And what was there were just so caustic and shitty. None of it was doing anybody any good. So I got out. And that was a big boon to all this. This was a good part of the plan, at least so far. But I got to say, and this is the only place I'm talking about this because, I'm not doing this on other shows. The diary is a little bit more open in this regard, but I don't, the last few days have tested it, have really pushed a lot of buttons for me, and it was impossible not to notice, right? This whole thing with the attempted assassination / shooting thing at the event, at the rally, and our inability as a people to look at things critically and wait for details and not trust experts and just all that stuff that happens every time anything happens around here. Like, I've never seen so much conspiracy theory in my life. And the one thing I've noticed is usually my algorithms on TikTok and YouTube shorts it's kind of my happy social media place, because my algorithms feed me usually just exactly what I'm looking for, which is stupid stuff, jokey, funny things, animation, video game content, that kind of stuff, science. And that's almost entirely all I get. And if anything else tries to sneak through, I can just flick it. It's just a thumb flick away. Just I'm done, and I move on and I never get it again. But man, those algorithms were not prepared for the influx of just complete and total bullshittery that came sweeping through those apps. And I don't blame them. I just don't think they're equipped to do what I needed them to do. Oh, hi, Carter. Oh, that you're making soup. Oh. All right. Well, anyway, Carter's down here now. What are you doing? A diary. Why?
Wondering. You don't acknowledge me.
No, I acknowledge. Well, when you're around, I do. You can't hear what she's saying, but she says I usually don't acknowledge her, which is such bull crap. Anyway, back to my point. So even those places were just like rife with it. And it was like every flick, here's another one, here's another one, here's another one, here's a view, here's a view, here's a view, here's another camera shot, here's a conspiracy theory, there's 4 more of those, like bit. And I'm like, my gosh, where is my stuff? What it was almost like it had been taken over without my control at all. And I hate that feeling. So this is the test of my desire to avoid all this. I mean, the truth is, when that happened, I think it's kind of funny that anyone thinks that any decided voters were swayed one direction or the other by that. I mean, all it does is make everybody who's already set just dig in to their decision. Like, it's insane. It's an insane idea to think anyone flipped. I'm not naive enough to say that I know that there are undecideds out there. I suppose there always is. And some people get motivated just by the pure hype of a thing. So sure, I guess. But most people, I don't care how deep you are on either team, which I also hate. But anyway, you're like, what changed for you? Nothing. If anything, it just solidified your what you were going to do anyway. And but it was a test because suddenly I couldn't avoid it. Not like I'm used to being able to avoid it. And so that's been hard. So yesterday my solution was I don't listen to enough music, I've decided. I listen to a lot of talk, a lot of podcasts, a lot of stuff. And that's fine. But sometimes music is a great way to take you to a time and a place where maybe things were simpler for you. Call it self-care, call it putting your head in the sand. I don't care what you call it. But it was nice to just crank up some stuff that, puts me in a certain place. Specifically, back in 1997 or so, the year Carter was born, the video game Wipeout came out on the PlayStation 1, and then the follow-up Wipeout XL. Both of those games featured music that really were responsible for me heading down this sort of electronica path, which I still love today. I love all that stuff. It introduced me to all sorts of existing bands and groups, but just put me on a path where I was just going to be paying attention to that stuff, right? And in particular, the in-house musician they used for 1 and a few tracks in 2 was this dude that called himself Cold Storage. And his tracks are amazing, especially in XL. Those 2 tracks, he may have done more than 2, but the 2 in particular, I think one's called Canada and the other one I cannot remember the name of. But they're such bangers. They're so good. And anyway, that's what I got in the mood for. And I'd forgotten last year he did a 2023 remaster of all his Wipeout work. I think the album's straight up called Wipeout. And some of them are remixes from other artists who contributed to it of some of the same tracks. But anyway, it's very good. And it puts me in a very specific place. The mid to late 90s, happy place for me. A lot of good stuff going on. I could have given 2 flaming hot bags of crap about politics back then. And it would not even, it just wouldn't enter. It just didn't enter my brain. You'd hear stuff like, oh, Bill Clinton did a thing. And I'd go, oh, okay, well, anyway, it doesn't really affect me. And I realize that is a bit of a position of privilege. Okay, I'm not saying it isn't. When things affect other people, sometimes they don't affect you, and you got to be mindful of that. But I don't know. For me, everyone, 9/11 was a big divider point for a lot of people. For me, that was the point where I had to start paying attention, or it felt like I had to. And I wish I could go back to where I didn't, because I haven't been able to have a positive or negative or even neutral impact on that world at all. Me worrying about it and having opinions about it has done what? What exactly have I affected? And when you realize how little you affect on that broader scale, it doesn't mean you can't be a good person in your sphere, but that's all I can do is just be here and be surrounded by the people I care about, and that's it. What else is there? Everything else is hyperbolic and performative and kind of just more noise. So this is a week where it was like, oh, it's all forefront in my head again. It's all anyone's talking about. Now it's all I can think about. Just like this temptation to like walk into the fire. And it felt like a little bit of a moment of weakness for me. So I'm trying, as of today, I'm trying to like reverse that and get back to my get back to my zone where I'm a little happier, you know. But man, it's going to be a long 4 months. Like how are you guys doing this? How are you doing it? How are you handling it? You know, I admire people who don't get super up in arms and emotional about this stuff, because you can just, you know, hear about it and go, meh, and then just move on. That's just not me. I can't do that. So I really have two choices. One, go all in and pretend like what I say matters. Or two, do what I'm trying to do, which is back off from it all and avoid the flames. And I don't know. I just think that's the right thing for me. I can't speak for everybody else. You all have to do what you got to do. And you should do whatever you want to do. It's your right to get as involved as you want or not. But I can only speak for me here, and maybe people hear this and it'll prompt them to think about what they're doing, maybe reassess their recent, adherence to their own personal goals, and then, reevaluate a little bit, make some decisions in that regard, that sort of thing. I don't know. I don't know what good this even does, except it's cathartic for me to have this show and be able to talk about it. So that's why I'm doing it. Anyway, this is a short one. Just wanted to get that out of my system, and also get a new diary up because it has been a few days. Been very busy around these parts, and don't expect to see that slow down anytime soon. I would like to thank a bunch of you who grabbed stuff on the store sale we just had. We had way more. We were able to move a ton. And I'm happy about that, because that's the goal. We got to try to move out all this old stock so that we can kind of do some fresh new things and really refresh what even the Frog Pants store is after all these years of being a little much of the same. Not that it's been bad. It's just, I want a fresh coat of paint, baby. Sometimes you just need to move the furniture around. That feels good. When's the last time you moved a chair where it belonged? Or, pulled down some ugly wallpaper and painted it a proper color, or ripped out the carpet and put some nice wood down. Oh, before I forget, Carter, do you still have a bunch of Reese's peanut butter cups? Or did you eat all of them?
No.
Oh, well, I don't want any. Okay, because Mom was trying to buy some for the babies, and I said, I think Carter's still got like tons.
The thing is, I have a big mix.
Yeah.
They're all like weird.
What do you mean they're weird? Okay.
They're like.
But you still have them.
Mixed weird ones, yeah.
So if like Phoebe wanted two, you could reach them in. Okay. All right. Well, then that solves that problem. Aren't you guys glad you were here for that little exchange? Fantastic. Tune in at 3 p.m. today for me and Carter for an episode of the Monday Show. I hope you're all having a good one. Send me your feedback. Oh, that reminds me. I was supposed to read some feedback. Hold on. Here we go. This was about me talking about not wanting a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was last episode. Yeah, I think it was the last episode, talking about how some old friends of mine who I've known forever are all seeming like they're sort of given up on anything new in their life. Like they're just they're hitting that stage where it's like, I don't understand what these kids, that kind of thing. This came from Harold. He said, hey, I see it both ways. I'm 46. I'm starting to feel like you're describing a desire to be done with the striving/learning portion of life. For me, as a person in tech, it's been 30 plus years of learning the new thing while watching the same underlying issues get repeated. I think it's a bit natural to reach burnout and a bit of, quote, all is vanity, unquote, attitude with life at some point. That being said, I love learning and I really want to stay current. It's sort of a job requirement. Anyway, thanks for giving voice to the newest angst of our generation, Harold. Yeah, this echoes a lot of other responses I got about how that is and how it feels. I was just talking about redoing the store and stuff. I think that's part of it. You just want to you just want to freshen stuff up. I think you have to do that, or you do kind of burn out, or you have, you hit these walls of like, what am I even doing? I don't know. Anyway, appreciate the feedback. 801-471-0462 is the email address. You can also go to the website and contact me there, frogpants.com/diary. That'll do it for me. Have a great couple days, and we'll see you soon. Bye.